For this book, Babble, I'm going to talk about symbolism within Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman. I was really excited because I finished the play this week and I was able to see, looking back holistically, what symbols were reoccurring and what ones really resonated within the text. As we all know, symbols are something that stands for something else, and Arthur Miller uses symbols throughout the text to say more than what is being actually said with the words, and he has them represent a greater idea, and sometimes they even point to theme, and they really tell more than what is being said. First, I saw one reoccurring symbol throughout the entire play, and that was the idea of Linda's stockings. You have to remember the time period, which is the 1950s, whenever the majority of women wore stockings, and stockings were a symbol of affluence, of wealth. But we find out towards the end of the novel that actually Willie is cheating on his wife with another woman on his sales trips to Boston. And in this instance, he is repaying this woman for her sexual favors by giving her Linda's stockings, limiting the number of stockings Linda has. And these stockings that he keeps seeing throughout the novel are representative of his infidelity, of his cheating on his wife. And it haunts Willie because throughout the entire novel, Willie sees Linda messing with her stockings. She has them clumped up in her hand, or she's mending them, and he yells at her and he says, "Don't do that, that makes me nervous," or "You know I hate that." And in these instances, he's realizing that she's having to mend her stockings because he gave them away, and he cheated on his wife. He betrayed his family. His son, Biff, looks up to him and sees him as his father figure, as good man, but he betrayed his family. And these stockings are really symbolic of that. The second symbol I saw was the symbol of the recorder. Whenever Willie goes in to ask his boss, Howard, to work in the office, Howard shows Willie this recorder. Now this recorder records voice, and it's a rather new development for the 1950s. And he sees this recorder as a representation of wealth and affluence. So he lies to his boss and he says, "I must get one of them." Now this symbol really resonated because Howard says later in the conversation, "This is no time for false pride." That statement made me realize that the symbol of the recorder is the symbol of Willie's false pride. He's saying that, he's too proud. He believes that he can achieve the American dream. And now this is later on in his life. And the chance that he can afford a recorder is incredibly slim. And likewise, his American dream is beginning to be less of a dream and more of a mirage. So it's essential that we see that Arthur Miller does use symbolism within his novel, and he really embeds those symbols to say more than what's actually being said. And, to tie the text together with the common theme that, the American dream isn't possible for Willie, and really lead to that tragic ending where there's still unresolved conflicts between his son and him over the infidelity and the cheating on his wife, and also looking at his lack of influence and how that is unattainable for him. The symbols are really important in helping understand the entire novel, and it's interesting how Arthur Miller, spread them out throughout the text.